This video is brought to you by my fantastic patrons. Join today to receive exclusive benefits from the channel. Link in the description.
StoryBots.
Hi, I'm Evan Spiridellis.
And I'm Greg Spiridellis, and we're the brothers who started StoryBots.
Well, we started a long time ago. So when we started, the internet was brand new, dial-up modems, and I was just fascinated with the internet. The idea that you could make something and distribute it around the world over a phone wire.
We started StoryBots because finding safe, high-quality apps for our kids was a real challenge.
We wanted our kids to have fun learning on these amazing devices and to build things that were fun for us too as parents.
Personalization is the thing that makes StoryBots magical. We have dozens of starring you books that you can put your kids into, starring you music videos.
At the end of the day, StoryBots is about making things that we feel awesome about giving to our own kids.
And building things that make families happier.
That's our mission.
Welcome back, everyone. Today we have a show that's very interesting indeed. After taking a look at the first season of Ask the StoryBots in the previous part, we now enter possibly one of the shortest lived series in the entire catalog. StoryBots Super Songs. This is the spin-off show that aired alongside Ask the StoryBots in 2016. However, unlike its sister show where it got 3 whole seasons and a fully fledged Christmas special to themselves, Super Songs didn't go that far, with it only having 10 episodes in its entire run. The story behind the creation of Super Songs, though, is quite fascinating to me. It has a very different structure compared to the main show, but it was never really given a chance to survive on its own. So today, I thought we'd pay homage to this hidden gem of a series, and see what exactly this show has to offer. Like Season 1, I do have fond memories of this particular show as a kid, and I'm very intrigued on how it'll fare now, 8 years later, in the retrospective. So how does it compare to the highly acclaimed Ask the StoryBots? Let's dive in and find out. While the team was hard at work with the first season of Ask the StoryBots, the brothers wanted to do something a little more. They wanted to make another series to go alongside the main show, a little side quest, if you will. This new companion show would be very different from their main project. Instead of having the StoryBots go on big adventures into the outer world and exploring all these new places, locales, and characters, we instead get something different. The premise for this new show would follow the StoryBots in the computer world while learning an array of topics, like shapes, colors, emotions, vehicles, body parts, etc. They would have the same StoryBots that we've known in the main show, being Answer Team 341B. But now, they mostly spend their time in the computer world, doing various different activities, such as having conversations with each other, and more prominently, interacting with the kids via computer screens. The kids' presence would become a focal point for the episodes, now serving as ways to communicate with the StoryBots while they learn each topic. Contrast to before, where they only appear at the beginning and at the end of every episode. This would also play the opposite of how the main show operates. In Ask the StoryBots, the kids would ask the questions to the StoryBots, and they would be the ones to answer the questions. But here, it's the inverse. Now the StoryBots are the ones to ask the questions, and the kids being the ones to answer them. For the kids footage itself, the team would work with several different companies for each of the kids, one of them being Elite Kids Talent, an agency that specializes in kids' performances in California. Most of the time, the kids would give performances that feel genuine and unscripted, sometimes giving intelligence to the StoryBots in certain situations, or just being plain silly for laughs and giggles. It really depends on the episode. And in some instances, we get little animations that go over the kids' performances, with the kids being depicted as whatever creature or object that fits the setting of the episode. More on that later. The structure of the show would also be very different. Instead of having every episode be 20 minutes long like the main show, they were shortened down to an average 10 minutes, with half the length being devoted to the old StoryBots songs from years past, and the other half showing the new stuff, i.e. the interactions with the StoryBots and kids. Altogether, the entire show would be under 2 hours, so binge watching the show wouldn't take too long for those who want to. They would use 5 songs from each of the 10 song collections in the episodes, but not all the song collections would be featured. Some collections that didn't get the spotlight were the alphabet songs, the classic songs, the number songs, and the behavior songs, to name a few. They also extended the amount of episodes as well, from the previous 6 episode length in Ask the StoryBots to 10 episodes. And this was how it was presented on YouTube. Though, weirdly enough, when it came to the release on Netflix, however, they for some reason, bunched the episodes up into pairs. So the first 2 episodes would be treated as one, the 3rd and 4th episodes would be paired up, etc. So instead of having 10 10-minute episodes on YouTube, we instead have 5 20-minute episodes on Netflix. I have no idea why they opted for this route, but my assumption would be to have the episodes be consistent to its sister show, Ask the StoryBots, as that show also has its episodes at a 20-minute length as well. But that's just my take. This show would also be the first to have the episode's title read aloud, being stated by each of the members of the team.
Outer space! Body parts!
Dinosaurs,
Vehicles.
Shapes! Colors!
animals,
Emotions! Professions!
Barnyard.
The show would also reuse a lot of assets used in Season 1, the most obvious of which being the 2D character models. Now these models were only ever used at the start and finish of every episode in the main show, as the 3D models were the ones to get all the attention, though they do make a brief appearance in this new show, albeit for only one scene. With more time being spent in the computer world, that meant more screen time for these 2D character models, and all the details that lie within their movement and expressions. It was also around this time when the team made little introductory videos for each of the members of Team 341B, each one of them serving as character intros to the audience before going into the main show. These videos were used in the old StoryBots classroom before its unfortunate closure in 2019. I've made a video regarding the history of the classroom website, and also a compilation of all the character intros in good quality. If you want to check those out, both of them will be listed down below. But the character models weren't the only things to be pulled from Season 1. This art studio from the Sky episode would be repurposed for this scene, and the model sets would also be implemented, only now on a much smaller scale. And also, Hap returns for 2 episodes, Body Parts, and Barnyard. Hub and Bub and Franklin, meanwhile, do not appear in this show, as they would be exclusive Ask the StoryBots characters. All the people that worked on the main show would also be featured in the spin-off. The same voice actors, the same animators, the same writers, and the same musicians, so pretty much the same team from before. The background music would once again be sourced by Megatracks, being used for all the scenes with the StoryBots interacting. And for the opening titles, the choreography would all be directed by Jacob Strelin, with music provided by Perry Grip, who would also be responsible for a bunch of the songs in the spin-off. More specifically, the vehicle songs, the shape songs, and the animal songs. With everything ready to go, production of the new spin-off show concluded in 2016. And on the same day that Season 1 of Ask the StoryBots was released, StoryBots Super Songs was made public on both YouTube and Netflix. Let's now take a closer look, shall we? I gotta be completely honest with you guys. Going into this series with a new lens, I wasn't entirely sure what to expect from this one. Prior, with Season 1, there was quite a lot to talk about. The cinematography, the model sets, the wacky character designs, the story concepts, the celebrities, and the overall direction that the show went that year. Super Songs, on the other hand, has got nothing extraordinary going for it really. It has the same characters and the same songs from before, but the format is now different. The episodes are shorter and more akin to a quicker pace. We don't have any new places to explore or any new characters to talk with. It all just takes place in the computer world, and we're just observing what the StoryBots do on a day-to-day basis. It's a totally different vibe from Ask the StoryBots, and I think a reason on why this is such a different experience from the main show is because, well, there is no story. There's no connecting plotline, there's no big adventure they go on, there's not even any conflict happening here. It's literally just the StoryBots doing whatever at random. Playing with blocks, jumping on trampolines, making a sandwich, building a car, dancing to music, or just making silly faces. The list goes on. Now I took this as criticism before in Ask the StoryBots, as I saw them as mere distractions from the main story and kinda disrupted the pace of the episodes. With no continuity, the episodes felt like they were all disarrayed from each other, with no connecting plotline. But here it's a little different. The whole point of this show was focused around the StoryBots doing various different activities with both themselves and the kids, and emphasizes more on the songs, hence why the series is called StoryBots Super Songs. And, in a weird way, it kinda works out in its favor. There wasn't meant to be any big overarching theme with these episodes or anything. It's all just a big compilation of little gags and funny moments. Picture it as YouTube shorts, something short, easy to understand, and made for people that have short attention spans. That's kinda what the series is as a whole, just a bunch of glorified YouTube shorts. The shorter runtime makes the episodes feel a bit faster than a normal episode, and more suitable for people that just want to get through stuff quickly. And I think what really homes in on the fact that this is a shorter series is not just that it's shorter than a normal episode, but also that it was specifically a spin-off show. It serves as a way of showing the StoryBots in a new format, while also giving us a little break from the main adventures. Perhaps you watch a few episodes from the main show, and then you take a break by watching Super Songs, before going to the next episode. That's pretty much what Super Songs is meant to be, a shorter series that goes into new territory, while still keeping a lot of core aspects that made StoryBots so famous in the first place, which certainly makes this one very unique amongst the rest. Let's talk about the kids now. I absolutely love the kids' involvement in this particular show. Kids being present has always been a staple element in AAA's StoryBots. Hell, it's a staple element in nearly all their projects following this. But Super Songs manages to do something that no other show has done prior, which the team took full advantage of during the making of the show. And that's how they implemented the kids' performances. Whenever they get asked a question by the StoryBots, the kids would give responses that feel very authentic and real. The answers they gave were never scripted on the kids' half, and it's not like they had to do it in order to satisfy the episode or anything. No, they can just say whatever they want. And as a result, we get performances that are not only unique, but also believable. It gives a sense of imaginary freedom for these kids. Saying whatever they want works so well because of the creative nature of their talent. It makes it very natural sounding. And what I think really amplifies the sensation are the added visuals. It's so appealing seeing the kids do all this stuff that you wouldn't normally see every day. Like having a techno dance party, or trying to guess all the planets in the solar system, or making animal noises, or all the professions that they want to be when they grow up. The possibilities are endless. It's yet another example of showing the creative side of StoryBots that's so inspirational for a lot of people. It just wouldn't hit the same way if these performances weren't aided by the creative liberty of the StoryBots team. Though if I were to question one thing about these kids, it'd be their intelligence. Some of these answers they gave in some of the questions actually made me laugh out loud, and I'm not sure if I should take that positively or negatively here. Like seriously, what were they teaching some of these kids when they do stuff like this?
Can you draw a circle?
Mercury, Venus. I know South America. Cupid. Italy.
Wow, that's so bad. Still though, could be worse.
If your bottom were a planet, which one would it be?
America.
America?
Sure, it may be a bit off-putting in some scenes, or maybe the kids are not giving enough effort in their speeches or anything, but for the most part, this is charming stuff. Now, one of my personal favorite parts of Super Songs is where they take the kids' performances and turn them into fully animated segments. In these instances, they have the kids' audio completely untouched and animate a scene on top of their performance. It could be a boat explaining on how a boat works, or a bear ranting about his grumpy problems, or some dinosaurs eating their favorite food. Again, it's all completely varied. This is also where we get to see more of the model sets at play, just like Season 1, and I really love these scenes. It shows how creative the team was in incorporating the kids into these parts, and also how different and unique it is compared to every other kids property. I don't think any other kids show has ever been this creative with the children, as far as I know anyway.
Oh, I'm the fire! I'm the fire! I'm the fire! I'm the fire! I'm a fire! Put me out! I think I could use a snack. Yeah. I think I could use a snack too, after the snack.
One scene in particular that I think really showcases this well is the square and circle scene from the Shapes episode. I don't think I really need to explain why this scene is so good. I think just showing the scene in its entirety will let you see the fuller picture. Take a look.
What are you? I don't know. What are you? I don't know. I'm circle. Wait, yeah. I'm circle and you're square. No, you're square. And then you're circle. Yeah. Wait, no. You're square, sir, and then I'm I'm circle and you're square. No, this, I think it's, I'm square and you are, circle. No, wait, you know what? I don't know.
Simply beautiful. Now, I'm not sure if this was at all intentional by the crew or anything, but I like to believe that this spin-off acts as a prequel show to Ask the StoryBots. I've talked about this in the ranking video that I made a while back, and I think it still holds some water, for a couple reasons. For one thing, the StoryBots are never referred to as an answer team throughout this whole series. It's never outright stated that they are in fact an answer team. We know that they're an answer team thanks to Ask the StoryBots, but Super Songs never mentions this fact, and it's not present in Netflix's own description of the show. The theme song even calls the StoryBots by their individual names, rather than Team 341B.
Let's follow beat, bing bang, boop and bo.
All they really acknowledge in this series is that the StoryBots are simply just friends with each other. And in retrospect, it makes a whole lot of sense in more ways than you think. Having them be friends before they become an answer team is actually pretty clever. Their connection with each other in this show is very strong, and it makes their future appearances in Ask the StoryBots ever the more fulfilling. Now you might be wondering, Hap makes an appearance in this show, so does that contradict the fact that this is supposed to be a prequel show? Well, not necessarily. In the main show, Hap was always depicted as the grumpy authority figure. He's essentially the main boss to them, and assigns them a question to answer in every episode. But in Super Songs, it's a bit different. He only appears in 2 episodes, so he's not really much of a crucial character like before. He's still grumpy and has the old self in him, but he's never actually shown bossing the others around like in the previous show. He just kind of exists, not really doing much in regards to the plot. Whereas before, he was a very integral character in the main show, appearing in every episode. In their eyes, they just see him as an average StoryBot. Same character, but different perspective. It's not till after Super Songs, when we get back to the main show, where we start to see how they transform not only Hap, but also the main StoryBots now becoming literal team players. From the once 5 friends that started off doing random activities with each other, to now being this inseparable group of StoryBots going on adventures all over the world. It's an overall fun setup for these guys, whether intentional or not. I am happy to say that the humor in this show is incredibly good, and very on par with Season 1, which makes sense, given that they were both made around the same time. The kids' performances, once again, really enhance the silliness factor. It's all very funny, because it's unexpected. One of the most hilarious scenes for me, by far, is the blue sky scene, where Beep asks the children on what they think about when they see the color blue.
What do you think of when you think of the color blue?
The sky.
That's right, the sky is blue. What else can you think of that's the color blue?
The sky.
Yeah, but we already covered that one. Is there anything else you can think of?
The sky? The sky?
Yeah, okay, but
Sky.
anything else besides
The sky.
The sky! Guys, this is getting a little...
The sky.
The sky!
The sky.
If I hear the words the sky one more time, I am gonna...
Hey, Beat! What's got 2 thumbs and is blue all over? This guy.
I'm gonna go lie down for a while.
I mean, come on, who wouldn't get a chuckle at this one? Funnily enough though, I also like how it somewhat connects to the black sky scene back in Season 1, with both scenes even sharing a similar feel, being very chaotic. Call it an unintentional coincidence, if you will. In fact, while we're on the topic of the sky, let's discuss something. Have you ever noticed just how many times they mention the sky in both Season 1 and Super Songs? Believe me, it's more than you think. Let me explain. So, in the first episode, we learn about how night happens, which is something associated with the sky changing colors and all. And then, in the second episode, we learn about airplanes, things that fly in the sky. Episode 4 is literally about the sky. I mean, to be fair, that was kind of obvious from the title. Duh. And in the last episode, we learn about rain. And where exactly does rain come from? You guessed it, the sky. And now we have this scene, where the StoryBots are just repeating the words, the sky, on repeat, just to annoy Beep. It's always the sky. I mean, really, why was the team so in love with the sky? What about the sky? Why is it always the sky? Am I actually going crazy right now?
Sky, the sky, the sky,
The sky.
the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky,
The sky.
The sky, the sky, the sky,
The sky.
the sky, 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 the sky,
the sky, the sky, the sky,
the sky,
The sky, the sky, the sky, the sky,
the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky,
the sky, the sky, the sky,
the sky, the sky,
the sky, the sky, the sky, the sky,
sky,
The sky?
the sky, the sky,
the sky.
the sky, 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 the sky, the sky.
Ah, thanks Beep, I really needed that. Let's move on to the songs now. As far as the songs go, I mean there's not much to talk about. They're all the same songs that we discussed many times before, some even being reused from Season 1 prior. The color songs, the animal songs, even the vehicle songs. Wait, does that mean I think... Oh goddammit, not again!
Drive a truck. Amigo truck. It's called a truck. Cause it's a truck.
I mean, what can I say? It's so damn awesome. These songs are all very catchy for sure, but not entirely new. They were all made during the early years of Jib Jab, so they weren't exclusively made for the show or anything. Except for one. The opening theme song. Holy cow, they did not have to go so hard with this one. And no surprise, it's made by Perry Grip once again. I always love his songs that he made for StoryBots, especially the vehicle songs. But this one really hits it out of the park for me. It's very catchy, upbeat, and insanely energetic. Even more so than the theme from Asa StoryBots, which is really saying something. Again, I just wouldn't be surprised if you think this song is your favorite. Because I, for one, really love this song. It's certainly in my top 10, for sure. One aspect that I failed to mention back in the Season 1 review is the character designs. I've discussed before of how intentionally simple it was to create these StoryBots with simple geometric shapes and colors. But as for Team 341B, there's a lot more to the picture than meets the eye. For starters, each StoryBot is very different in their shape. They all have a distinctive look that makes it intentionally easy on the viewer's half. You can immediately tell who is who just by looking at their shape. Like Bo is the very big one, Bing is the tiny one, Beep is the middle-sized one, etc. This also applies with the colors. Again, it's very simple to see who is who if you just draw 5 streaks of color of the main team. Bang is blue, Boop is red, Bo is purple, and so on and so forth. But there's one detail about the team that I actually find quite clever, and one I don't see many people talk about, and that's the team's choice of color. Notice how all the male StoryBots, Bang, Bing, and Boop, are all depicted in primary colors, red, yellow, and blue, whereas the female StoryBots, Beep and Bo, are all depicted in secondary colors, green and purple, giving themselves that extra layer of depth in their character just by their color. Like, that is so cool. I love this aspect about them, and I wonder how intentional that was. I know in retrospect it was a rather forgotten decision for the StoryBots. Several characters will later break this rule in the main show, and even more so in Answer Time. But even I gotta admit, it's a very cute novelty, and it makes them stand out just a bit more, with that in mind. When it comes to the character's usage in Super Songs, it's sort of like a everyone gets one type of show. Every main character gets an equal share in the spotlight. No StoryBot is ever overshadowed by any other character. They all just frequently appear for an even amount of screen time, whether it be for a solo performance or an ensemble scene with all of them together. It could really be anything. Now, we did get our first taste of the characters back in Season 1, and there they were introduced pretty well, I thought. So how exactly do they fare when they're in the computer world itself? Well, let's see. We'll start with Bang this time, and I think he did quite well. He has quite a few moments in the show that I really adore, and stay true to his character. I love how he packs literally everything he can in his suitcase, just for a trip to the moon.
Now I just need to figure out how to carry my suitcase.
I love this part where he uses the Triceratops as a hat rack. That one really got me.
Triceratops make the best hat racks.
How demeaning. This is unbelievable.
Well, when they hold still at least.
And of course, who could forget?
Rhombus.
What? What? Excuse me?
Rhombus.
What? Huh? What?
Rhombus.
Rhombus? A rhombus? Rhombus? Rhombus.
Rhombus.
Rhombus! Rhombus.
Rhombus.
I have no idea what that is. I don't know what it is.
Bang? Do you even know what a rhombus is?
No idea, dude, but it's a cool sounding word. Rhombus.
Need I say more? My favorite scene from Bang, though, and my favorite scene of the show in general, is where he suddenly feels very depressed all of a sudden, and the other StoryBots try to cheer him up. It's very simple and there's not much context here, but it's the moment where Bang finally cheers up that was really delighting. I swear, the moment where Beep starts to give Bang a hug, that's so wholesome.
There. Did that help?
Yeah, I think so. Thanks a lot, Beep. You're a good friend.
Bing, meanwhile, is more or less the same as he was before. He's still the fast, fidgety guy we all know and love. He can be rather reckless, like trying to jump all the way to the sun.
Oh dear, are you all right?
I touched the sun.
He can act a bit childish when he starts talking about the stomach.
And I like the stomach because it makes you...
Okay, that's it. Shut it down.
And sometimes he can be a bit dumb.
Cool! I still don't see it.
Are you sure you're looking through the right end?
Maybe you need to squint really hard.
Ah, Bing, when will you ever learn? He does, however, get an entire scene for himself in one of the most iconic parts in the whole show. The one where he hypnotizes Boop into a chicken.
You're getting sleepy. Your eyelids are very heavy. You're in a deep, deep sleep. On the count of 3, I will snap my fingers and you will awake. When you awake, you will think you're a chicken. 1, 2, 3. Oops.
Boop, surprisingly, was not tossed aside this time. He is still used as a tool for most of his shots, and sometimes getting the shorter end of the stick in some, but like the others, he does have some scenes of note. This one gag where he's reading a book called 101 Ways to Communicate was pretty funny. Very fitting for someone who can only speak one word. That was honestly clever. He can apparently hold his breath the longest, as shown here. And he has a spotlight scene, where he gets increasingly angry over the StoryBots playing music.
The music makes us happy.
And in a self-realization moment, Boop has a change of heart and concedes.
Alright, yeah.
Thanks, Boop!
Nice to see the team prop Boop up for once, instead of him always seeming like an afterthought. Now I have 2 picks for MVP of Super Songs. And honestly, I don't know which one deserves the title more, as both of these characters have quite the impact on the show. But I'll let you decide who you think should get it. My first pick is an obvious one. It's Beep. Beep has a very big importance in Super Songs. She's very much the driving force of the show, and the only one to move the episodes along. Being a leader character, it's important that she makes sure everyone is on the right track. But we don't really see her strict side here, at least not in Super Songs. She's more gentle and kind-hearted, often giving compliments to others.
I just like to let the blocks fall and see where they land.
Ooh, that's an interesting approach. Ooh, Bang, this is a great hat rack. Wow, Bing, that's amazing. What was it like up there?
Once again, showing that she's not all that bossy. And sometimes, whenever the team gets confused about something, she'll be the one to give them her intuition.
Wait, what's a software engineer?
A software engineer makes programs for computers which help us with different tasks. Look at this program I made. It helps us make sure the show stays on time.
You have T-minus 5 seconds to complete this segment.
A stetho what?
A stethoscope. Doctors use it to hear your heartbeat. Bang, I think instead of telling you what it's like to be silly, they're showing you.
Oh, so being silly means doing something like this?
Yeah, that's it, Bang! Guys, Earth isn't up in the sky. It's what we're standing on right now. We've got a whole planet just beneath our feet.
It's pretty hard to pass up her role in the show. She carries a lot of weight for the team, cause without her, I don't think a single episode would get its footing off the ground. My other pick for MVP is Bo. Bo gets a lot of love in Super Songs, not only for establishing some mainstays of her character, but also exploring a lot about her that we never saw before. Her love for unicorns is one of these staple elements, and is actually a frequent occurrence in the show. She has a big heart.
You must have a big heart, Bo.
She constantly hugs everyone whenever they're together.
I don't know why we're hugging, but I don't care.
She's a great sculptor.
Hey guys, check out my new sculpture. I call it Ode to the Rectangle.
Ooh, nice work, Bo.
She's an amazing architect.
It's got 4 bedrooms, 22 bathrooms, 2 dance halls, 8 kitchens, and 16 walk-in closets.
Wow, Bo, you're quite the architect.
She feels nervous when Bing talks about number 2.
I'm not entirely sure we're allowed to be talking about this.
And on a very rare occasion, gets annoyed with something. It's very clear that the team really loved playing around with this character, and fully knowing her later roles in the franchise moving ahead, it is just wonderful seeing Bo in this light. I mean, who could forget the puppy dog eye scene for Pete's sake?
Oh, but the dogs are so cute.
Okay.
Yay!
All of these moments in the show are very charming to see, and are a nice reminder of why we love her so much. And speaking of Beep and Bo, I also noticed this little detail. Now I could be totally wrong about this, but I think Beep and Bo are the most frequent duo that we see in Super Songs. There's a lot of times where we just get scenes of the two of them together, almost like they intentionally wanted to pair the two females up, so we have some girl power going on. And you know what? I'm all for it. It shows how much of a bond these two are together, and it's a very nice segue into their future appearances as teammates. These two literally are crucial elements of the team, and it's all the more evident on how iconic they are. The new characters in Super Songs are fairly limited. There's not a whole lot to discuss here, but there are ones that I think were rather nice. The boat scene in the vehicles episode has a very elusive Easter egg that I only just noticed after hearing this information from the brothers. The boat in the vehicles episode is voiced by one of Evan's sons, and the shark in that same scene who talks to the boat is voiced by Evan himself. So really, it's a father talking to his own son in an episode. Like, that's so cute. There's a much deeper meaning to this scene now. I love it. I also really like the baboons in this scene, with the amazing prop designs as always.
I think we're pretty high. I really don't look forward to looking down. I'm looking down. I don't think you should be because it's really scary. You know what? I think we should go.
But my favorite new character in Super Songs, no doubt, is the interrupting cow. This guy is just so ridiculous, and I love it. He's a cow that always interrupts, and his whole introduction just speaks for itself. Literally.
Who are you?
Who am I? Who do you think? I'm the interrupting cow.
Where did you?
Where I come from? I came from a farm.
Yeah, but why are you?
I don't get why everyone thinks I interrupt so much. Do you think I interrupt a lot?
Well, I guess.
Oh, are those chips? Don't mind if I do.
Gotta love this guy. The cherry on top is at the outro, where he's just talking over the music and interrupting the end credits. He pretty much knows nothing about these people at the end, but his enthusiasm is what really gets me.
I don't know any of these people. Why are they on the screen? I don't see me yet. Am I on there? Am I on the credit? Who are these people? I know those guys. Jib Jab, yeah!
Now, it's funny I call these stories, as there really isn't a story in any of these episodes. But I thought we had to stay consistent, so yeah, here we go. The standout episode of Super Songs, I think, goes to
Emotions!
purely for the fact of how cleverly they implement the characters, with each one getting at least one scene for themselves. We have Boop's iconic scene with the music playing, we have Bang's famous scene of him feeling sad, my favorite scene of all time, we have Bing talking with the grumpy bear, we have Beep giving her intelligence to Bang in the silly scene, and we have Bo loving everything with the kids, unicorns and all. And not to mention, the songs are very memorable. Miranda Dawn is just killing it with these songs, I tell ya. This is a fun episode for the characters, and I can totally see why a lot of people love this one so much. It's a nice character exercise for all the StoryBots. That little bit of expansion they get goes a very long way. As far as weak episodes go, I mean, that's pretty hard. None of these episodes are particularly bad in my eyes, but if there is one episode that I find rather forgettable, it'd be episode 7.
Animals.
This isn't a bad episode by any means, but I didn't really find any of the scenes that memorable to me. There are a few scenes of note, like the baboon scene for the aesthetic and performance, and the animal songs are admittedly pretty catchy, but rarely do any of the other scenes ever hit the same way as the others. It's just the StoryBots doing animal noises. We all know what that is. It's a good episode to watch, but overall, not the best of the lot. I asked a few people online on what they thought the weakest episode was, and to my surprise, most people came to the conclusion that the Professions episode was the weakest link. And there I was like, really? This episode? Not to sound mean-spirited or anything, but I didn't really find this one to be forgettable if I'm being honest. There's a lot of great scenes here actually. Bo building her castle of blocks, this hilarious fire scene, and the funny cat and dog scene, all of which are very good in terms of humor. I guess maybe because it's the fact that it's about professions that one might think it'd be boring to learn about, but at least I didn't see it as something forgettable, for me anyway. For the sum up, I'll say the first episode.
Outer space!
I think this episode encompasses everything that Super Songs is known for. It has a lot of funny moments, the kids' usage in the episode is very clever and creative, the characters are used pretty nicely, with some going more into their personalities, like Beep and her intelligence, and Bo with her love for unicorns, which officially started here. There's no grand story tying these acts together, and the songs are very catchy, as always. A very unique episode, with a lot of memorable scenes. Super Songs in a nutshell. Now, the Emotions episode is also my pick for favorite episode this year, but I do want to highlight some other episodes that I thought were pretty good. The first is the Vehicles episode, simply because the songs are incredibly catchy in this one, as we've come to expect by now. And also, the whole father and son scene with the boat and shark makes it so heartwarming for me. I love scenes like those. Another episode I like was the Colors episode, for it has one of the most hilarious scenes in the whole show. The blue sky scene had me in stitches for a good few minutes or so. I don't think any other scene can top this one. It's so random, I love it. And lastly, the Barnyard episode, with the interrupting cow being the highlight in that one. Again, I just really love this guy so much. His constant interrupting is so pleasing to me. I wish we got to see him more in other projects. Maybe he will. Who knows? I think now is as good a time as ever to explain to you all why this spin-off show was so short-lived. The show itself only had a total of 10 episodes in 2016, and 8 years afterwards, there hasn't been any expansion ever since. I'm sure it was in the team's greatest intentions to keep this miniseries alive, so why then did this series never get an additional season? Well, there's a couple reasons. First off, the obvious. The team just simply ran out of episode ideas. The episodes are all based around the existing StoryBots songs from years past. The color songs, the shape songs, the vehicle songs, the dinosaur songs, etc. And after they made 10 episodes in this format, they really only had a handful of song collections left. It would have had to come down to a point where the team would have had to make more songs just for the show. But with the main show already doing just that, what would be the point? They'd just be making a carbon copy of the sister show. Secondly, the series, by nature, was never meant to go as far as it wanted. It's not like the main show where the StoryBots go on big epic journeys and whatnot. They're all just doing random stuff in the computer world, and we're not really supposed to learn anything from these instances. It's all just supplementary material, little vignettes of the StoryBots activities, not so much to a grand scale whatsoever. And lastly, a more generalized reason on why the show didn't continue was that, well, it just wasn't as popular as the main show. Ask the StoryBots, during its first season, became a worldwide success. It garnered a huge reputation with many awards and accolades. It was pretty clear to the general public that people wanted more Ask the StoryBots. And with that, the team delivered. We got 2 more seasons of the main show, and a fully made Christmas special on top of that. But Super Songs, meanwhile, was not pulling in as much as the main show. People weren't raving to have more content on this small miniseries, they naturally wanted more Ask the StoryBots. So more than likely, the team wanted to put their biggest efforts into something they know will be successful, rather than sticking with something that clearly wasn't meant to go far. Despite all that, however, I do feel to some degree that the team could have benefited had Super Songs got at least 1 more season. I think giving the show just 1 more opportunity before jumping ship would have given it a bit more recognition for a lot of fans. Not just from seeing how the team would have tackled the other song collections that were never featured in the show, but also in a more resourceful way, in giving projects that were never finished before a new purpose. Now there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of projects that the team shut down for various reasons. And even in current day, ideas are still being scrapped due to many restraints. But one project in particular that I think could have benefited the show immensely was the Great City songs. These songs never got an official release, and were basically on hold in the writing board, but putting these songs into the public eye again for the show would have made for a very immersive experience. Imagine they made an episode focused around these elusive songs, and the possibilities they could have done to achieve this. Like, they could have had kids from all over the world representing their country, and then later showing a music video of said country to follow. Or maybe we can have a scene of the StoryBots playing a board game and showing all these locations as they play. Or perhaps an animated segment for this one, maybe an animal of that country talking about its tourist destinations? I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas at the table here. I have no doubt that if the team really went this route in expanding Super Songs, I think it would have performed quite well. More people would have been drawn into it, and the show could have gone to new territories that weren't previously explored. But alas, we never got to see what a season 2 of the show would have been like, leaving Super Songs as the most unique and isolated series of the whole franchise. A rather bleak future for the show indeed. The word that I think describes StoryBots Super Songs perfectly is simple. Super Songs is simple in the best way possible. Everything about this show was very simple in a lot of regards. It was simple in its premise and structure. It was simple in its design and philosophy. It was simple in its characters and personality, in its humor, in its song collections, and delivering topics at a quick pace. And yet, it manages to do so much within the limitations. I really love this miniseries. Its separation from the other stuff is what makes it so special for me. The amount of stuff they experiment in this show is just paramount. The kids' involvement is the highest that it's ever been, with a lot of shots being cleverly implemented to fit the vibe of the show. The humor is just as good as it always is, with the blue sky scene being the funniest scene of all. And there's not much to nitpick here. It's pretty much a flawless series through and through. Though in that same regard, one may look at this and just completely forget about its existence. From what I see from fans at least, Super Songs is the show that gets the least talked about. It seems to follow a similar trap to season 1 in a weird way, with both of them being overshadowed by the stuff that came after. And when it comes to the perfect StoryBots series, in their eyes at least, most people would lean towards Ask the StoryBots or StoryBots Answer Time as their favorite pick. And yeah, those two shows are literally the flagship attractions of the franchise, with a lot going on for them. But if you ask me, this is it. This is StoryBots in its purest form yet. Super Songs was never meant to be anything to scream at or rave about. It just wanted to be something else, to entertain the kids by doing all these activities. And at the end of the day, that's all StoryBots really needs to be. Not something too big or outlandish like the main shows are, just something very simple, to enjoy with the family. While I don't see a chance of this show getting a revival anytime soon, I am grateful that we got a project like this in the first place. And honestly, I wish more projects could be like what Super Songs was, if that's at all possible. So if you ever want to take a break from the main adventures, and possibly want to try something else for a change, go watch Super Songs. You don't have to watch all the episodes, but just enough to get your mind off the main stuff. It may be short-lived and easy to forget about, but it still left its mark in the world, and will continue to inspire others who get absorbed into this small, beloved franchise. Long live Super Songs. And that just about does it for Super Songs. I'll be honest, I didn't expect we'd get to the next part so soon, but seeing how this was a shorter series to cover, I thought, why not do it early, you know? Once again, a huge shout out to the Spirit Ellis brothers for helping me out with this part. A lot of the information of this show is very scarce online nowadays, so getting some more insight on the show that wasn't previously established before was very interesting to me. Again, this video wouldn't be as high quality as it is now without the brothers' knowledge. Seriously, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the help. You all really mean the world to me. Thank you. Anyway, the next part in the retrospective will cover the ever so festive Christmas special, A StoryBots Christmas. I'm really looking forward to covering this one, as I consider that piece of work one of, if not the best StoryBots project ever made. And what perfect timing, that it's almost the holiday season right now. I'll try to aim for a December release for this one, if not early January. We'll just have to see. Again, I'll post more details about the video when the release gets closer, so yeah, keep a lookout for that. Last week was insane. If you somehow missed this event that happened a few days ago, I had the pleasure of talking with the brothers and a few of the crew members behind the StoryBots team. We had a lot of fun answering questions from fans, and just goofing around as usual. I can confirm though, with much excitement, that this Q&A stream will happen again next year, and will actually become an annual tradition on the channel for the years to come. Right now I'm in the works of a highlights reel of the current live stream with all the best moments. Not sure when I'll have that out, but hopefully very soon, and before the end of the year of course. My first creator spotlight goes to the ever so famous Perry Grip, the man responsible for the Super Songs theme song, as well as a bunch of the song collections in the show. I'm going to shout out his very own song collection that he made, the Raining Tacos Saga. Now, Raining Tacos is one of my favorite songs from him personally, but the fact that he made an entire song collection off that music video alone is pretty crazy to think about. I gotta say, each of the songs are consistently catchy every step of the way, and are very akin to the songs they made for StoryBots all those years before. Go and check this out, it nearly gives me an earworm every day. My next shoutout goes to a fellow StoryBots fan, Midnight. They make some really good fan content on their channel, with their most recent one being a fan animation of an iconic Super Song scene, the one where Bing hypnotizes Boob into a chicken. I really enjoyed this one. I like the watercolor aesthetic they chose here, and it's very fitting for the video. You should definitely check this one out. They plan on making more animations someday. My final shoutout goes to a very cool guy, Jeff Gill. We all know who he is, the voice actor of Bing, and a very crucial member of the StoryBots team. His work I'm shouting out is called The Little Kid. Any old veteran of YouTube may recognize this one. This little series is very similar to Super Songs. It's very random, very short, and even has a kid speaking through everything. This is a fun little watch. Go and see it while you can. I find it to be quite cute, honestly. And that's all I have to say at the moment. There will be something special coming up for the New Year's video, but I'll make sure to give you all an update before that happens. I hope everyone has a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving this year, and I'll see you all next time.